Everybody, thanks for checking out the Chris Gethard Show podcast. It's really cool that you're checking this out.
We're about to do, I think, the dumbest show we've done in years.
His life would be trashed! And you better believe I'm trashed.
We are scrappy trash people.
What's the point of this show? I just turned it on.
We've always been with this show.
We've always been trash people. We will always be trash people.
True.
This doesn't feel real.
Hello, everyone! Live from my grandmother's basement, we are the Trash People. I am Emily Pineapple.
And I'm Forrest, keeper of the Canon.
And we, every week, talk about something related to the world of Planet Scum and Planet Scum Live. We have been doing just a really fun, incredible series. Hi, Lindsay! Hi, K Rosy Cheeks! KK Rosy Cheeks? Hello, welcome. We've been doing this really awesome series that I've been enjoying so much where we just find artists who are fans of Planet Scum things and have them on to talk about their art. Ha! I am Pine of the Apple. Fuck yeah. And then it sounds like I'm a pine tree that has apples growing from it, which is like a weird thing that you would find in the woods in a horror movie that's just like unsettling. Like you don't really know why it's not right, but it isn't right. And then you're like, what are these people doing? What gods do they worship? What strange ritual will I be subject to?
And of course, the god we worship is the trickster god known as Chris Gethard.
Yes. You do not choose to worship a trickster god. The trickster god compels you and then plays tricks on you. Yeah. 'Cause he's a trickster god.
That all checks out.
It all checks out. Today, I'm hella excited. The person who we are chatting with about their art, about their inspirations, happens to be from the same location as this grandmother's basement. That's right. It's the Bay Area. The Yay area, if you will.
I will.
Good. Good. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad you will.
Yeah, I will.
I won't.
Okay. Probably for the best.
But yes, so I'm really, really excited. We're going to talk about animation. We're going to talk about the influences of being in San Francisco Bay Area, this strange place that we live in. It's so weird. I feel as obsessed with it as Chris does with New Jersey.
That's fair.
But it's less charming because like it's already kind of like a big deal area. What it is? Is it not?
I'm not going to badmouth New Jersey by proxy, as I think you just did.
Well, no, but like that's why it's a cool project because no one's talking about New Jersey.
Oh, I see.
That's why he did it.
I see.
Whereas like there are so many songs about San Francisco and like and then there's this whole culture. Silicon Valley has been featured as the villain on so many kids' movies.
An entire TV show about Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And Full House.
Yeah.
They had The Sopranos.
The Sopranos was here?
No, that was New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
But I think we should probably stop talking about TV shows from the mid to late 2000s.
Instead, we are talking to that guy. You might have seen him on the Discord or on the Twitch as Mr. November. That's right. It's Robinson Edgar.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I want to start us off with a question that I like to ask people, a sort of get to know you question. As I mentioned before, we are all devotees of the trickster god, Chris Gethard. And we know that we have been chosen. Hi, Worm Flames.
Wyvern Flames.
That's one of my favorite spellings of like worm or dragon. Wyvern. Right? Yeah, the Vern, you're just like, what is it? This is the question. As I said, we are all devotees of the trickster god, Chris Gethard. You know that you are a devotee and have been chosen by Chris Gethard, personally chosen by the things within yourself, by the features within yourself that you can just see. So, for example, if you are a worshiper of the Calvinist god, you know that you have been chosen because you are a hardworking and pious individual. One knows that they have been chosen by the trickster god Chris Gethard for numerous reasons, numerous things within yourself. What within yourself tells you with perfect certainty that you have been personally chosen by the trickster god, Chris Gethard?
Well, I read a book on trickster gods recently.
Oh my god, really?
And I don't recall his name popping up.
That's his
there,
greatest trick, convincing the world that he is not a trickster god.
Oh yeah, that's he's got the whole deck there. No, I guess the question is, how did you discover him? If I were to
That
put it in
as
layman's
well.
terms.
How did you discover him?
And just like what qualities resonate.
Yeah,
with
what
you.
qualities of
Like,
him resonate
A
with?
common one was
Depression summers.
where people had summers where they felt sad.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that
Or even
isn't
chaos.
restricted to just summer, honestly.
Punk, I know, right?
That's true. That's true.
Well, actually, there's a great place in Portland when I was living there called Killer Burgers. And I remember when he had the True TV show, maybe it was canceled by that point, but I saw footage of that playing in the corner. And I was just like, what the hell is this? And I just visually, without the audio and just the, just the subtitles, that alone was enough to kind of catch my eye. And then when I came back from Portland, I found myself binging a lot of the
Public access?
the public access stuff. I don't know why I was watching that Four Dudes with No Pants On episode a lot.
Oh, look at
That's
Dicks
my
in the Dark.
favorite one. That's the
really?
one that I tell everyone to watch. They're like, oh,
It's
what episode should I start with?
Yeah.
Looking at Dicks in the Dark.
Yes, that episode is great.
Yeah.
So good.
And I found myself there's form what narratives you will, but I was like that, and then I saw what he was doing after the show was canceled, and he was giving other comics a platform to stand on, and I've thought that this is such a wonderful person, and I always admire curators of art, whatever shape it takes, and he clearly surrounds himself with incredibly talented people. I think I saw the one that was a fake dating show or something like that.
Oh my God,
That
Joe
two-
Rumrell and Rachel Pegram.
Chemistry class.
They were incredible. Yeah, that was
good.
if you look it up on YouTube, look up that,
Yeah.
because it's a wonderful little piece.
It is.
yeah,
And it's often a little bit forgotten. I feel like when it's like, what CGP episode should you watch? I always think of Coochie Creek, which is Christy Cello. Or what? Like
Or Elegance Hour.
or Elegance
Rachel
Hour, which is
Pegram's
also
second
Rachel
episode.
Pegram. But chemistry class
Chemistry
was fucking fire.
really good. Yeah. And there's a puppet on it.
There's a
and
puppet!
I always love when puppets appear.
Puppet! It's a puppet! Oh my God. I'm, excited. Tell us how you found the Discord, how you found the community surrounding these episodes, these shows, this show. Did you immediately figure out Planet Scum Live when the world shut down, or did you find it later?
I would be lying if I didn't say that I do a lot of what I do to be seen.
Nice.
So a lot of hopping around Discords and stuff like that, and I guess I had been keeping up with the YouTube channel, and I saw the links to this, the Twitch, which I thought was wonderful because it's nice to see more cutting edge kind of stuff on Twitch as opposed to just another dude playing Call of Duty or something like that. So, but yeah, I just hopped on the Discord, and it's I'm always one for the counterculture, so yeah, totally. Yeah. That's the least cool way I could have put that, but yeah.
I do like Darren.
Darren plays bad. That is a smart one. That's kind of what I do with looking at Dicks in the Dark. Is
That's
I'm
a
like,
deep end one to start with.
yeah, like it's like if you like looking at dicks in the dark, you are going to like every episode. If you don't like it, just fucking, I don't know, you probably have better things to do with your time than finding the one of 300 episodes that you like.
My girlfriend is in the chat, so she's probably got questions about what we're talking about.
Oh, cute. Very cute. Robinson's girlfriend, if you have any hilarious anecdotes, deep secrets, only uttered to ancient gods. I don't know why I'm on this kick.
You're always on this kick.
And that'll be the end of this interview. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Tell me about the art that you create, and why don't we start with give us your story. Give us your artist story. I was going to say, like, tell us about what you do on Twitch, but that comes so much later. Tell us the story of yourself as an artist.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. KK Rosy Cheeks.
Yeah, there she is.
Hi.
Yeah, I feel like the story goes through, I mean, truth and memory tends to it seems to fracture, and it seems to, like, change order and change context. And I'm constantly, like, I'm on my own a lot, so, like, I'm always, like, trying to figure out what's the best way to tell this. Oh, nope, that one's gone. So, I mean, I was born in Atlanta. I didn't really grow up there. My folks moved to California after I realized how racist everybody was. No,
We're
Atlanta's
just more quiet about it here.
Yeah, sure. But I grew up in the Bay Area pretty much. I think that we moved to Philly at one point. My family history is kind of weird, but I've grown up pretty much in the Bay Area my whole life. My dad and my sister are songwriters. Ooh. She just put out a new album, Meredith Edgar. Look her up. She's incredible.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom's into music and stuff like that, so we're all pretty... My dad grew up reading... He was a surfer, so he was into a lot of the comics and stuff from the 70s.
Nice.
And probably read me a bunch of stuff I should not have read. Like National Lampoon comics where, like, this anthropomorphic cat was, like, getting, like, nuns pregnant and stuff. It's really yeah.
Wow.
I definitely had...
I see that in your art, though. When you said that, I'm like, yep.
Nuns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, anthropomorphic cats getting nuns pregnant. Like, I see... Behold!
Yep.
I had the plot of Fritz the Cat explained to me when I was far too young, too.
Oh, Christ. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was thinking of a comic back in the day called Cheech Wizard, which was by an artist named Von Bodie. And his son is actually a famous, or at least, street famous, like, street artist and stuff like that. You'll actually see some of his murals around San Fran if you're walking around and stuff like that.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. We do have some good murals.
That is one thing we
Oakland has better murals, but we have, like, some pretty good murals.
Oakland has better murals?
I like their murals better. I don't know. I feel like there's more
disagree.
of them,
I just think
too.
I would love to have...
So let's talk about your style and how you developed it, because this is something I'm interested in. On your website, you described it as frenetic, which I love. It was like something frenetic and something. Tell me about developing your style, developing your identity as more of a professional artist. Did it start in high school? When did you sort of choose to go to an arts college? And how was that? You went to CCA, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
California College of the Arts.
Yeah. I mean, this is gonna sound super pretentious, probably the way I put it.
Yes.
But I think it kind of. My dad always told me you don't really choose to be an artist; you just kind of fall into that. Like, that's just your tool set. Like, that's how you analyze. That's how you look at stuff. He was a teacher and a filmmaker for a bit, so he is super into the idea of art as a means of understanding the world and breaking stuff down.
Yo, what look at the world and breaking stuff down isn't actually just art? All these motherfuckers with their logic, I'm like, you're just doing art with words.
Yeah, in a way.
Right?
Yeah, certainly.
It's just as subjective and just as, like, through various human filters.
Yeah.
As other conceptions.
Yeah, it's a lens just like anything else. Like anything you wear, honestly.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, getting there, like, it's... I don't know how I got here. I just I can only assume based on what stuff, what bad choices I made to getting where I am. I remember there was an artist I got to meet who did a lot of comics I read. Did a comic series called Odd Bodkins, which nobody will know. But it was... he did a comic, and I got to meet him, and I feel awful that I'm forgetting his name. But he was one of my favorite artists.
Dan O'Neill?
Dan O'Neill, yes. Yes, thank you. I got to meet him at a convention once, and he said, do you have any suggestions for a cartoonist? And he said, run away. Do not do this. Which is fair.
This is some of his art for reference. This is some of Odd Bodkins.
Yeah, I always had an admiration for people like that, or, oh God, the Little Nemo artist. Mm-hmm. Of course, this is the time you ask me about influences, and I can't remember any names, but the Little Nemo artist, and the idea of doing stuff without an underdrawing or anything like that, and just kind of going for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, I had no idea. So all of this is done, like, in one go?
I mean, there are definitely times when I'll take out a bunch of whiteout and something like that, but I've found over time that I've relied less on pens and stuff like that because they make me second guess what I do.
Interesting.
Tell me about your medium and tell me about what you are making now. So you went to CCAA, you made a bunch of awesome cartoon videos on your YouTube, which I definitely want to look at, but tell us what you're doing now.
Well, right now I'm doing some. It's going to be boring. I'm doing some contract work and stuff.
Nice.
But
that is the life of a friggin' artist.
Yeah.
But you do animation. You learn animation at CCA?
No. I went to CCA as an illustrator.
Oh.
The animation stuff I do is it almost feels like cheating calling it animation. It's more animatic, I'd say. Because my stuff is still pretty static. It's all hand-drawn. So it's not... the colors are digital, but it's all hand-drawn, which is why I continue to torture myself by making things harder. But all that stuff's scanned in and inked and stuff like that.
Let's take a look, actually, at some of the videos from your old YouTube. And what I would love to know is how you made those and how you are... working now, the things that you have learned, like the stuff that you are proud of. I really like this one.
Yeah.
I really like this one that Forrest is going to put on.
Yeah, I wonder...
Hey, Mr. Demigod?
Speak, mortal.
What do you think happens when we die?
Your body rots here in the physical realm. Afterwards, your soul is cast to the eternal hellfire below us all, to be feasted on by yours truly. But nothing too abnormal.
You're funny. All right, good night.
I love that one so much.
Okay, that one's pretty good. It's really tough for me to go back to this old stuff, I gotta tell you, because I haven't really done one of those in about like 2 or 3 years. And yeah, that's I'm glad you found that one.
Tell me about what those were made for, sort of where you were at and where you're at now, what you've taken from that and what programs you're using, styles you're using.
Yeah, a lot of the YouTube stuff was, again, it was more or less me trying to, like, understand Premiere and an audio mixing program and stuff like that. So I was using the Adobe Suite. The Adobe.
Oh, yes.
You mean our other god? It's the triumvirate.
We
Chris
do tie
gathered
quite a bit to Adobe every year.
And TikTok. TikTok's my new god. It's not his god yet. They have bird videos.
Consider me an agnostic. No, I mean, I love the Adobe Suite because I like how they ducktail into each other,
Yes.
which was why it was great to be able to do that stuff. And
Did
so
you
many
do it in Photoshop?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty. It's pretty plain to see how I'm doing it. But yeah, it's all Photoshop layers that I've scanned in and colored and just imported those directly into Premiere. And then trying to do kind of like a Dr. Katz or or Ed, Ed and Eddie kind of thing with cycling the animations.
That's what I was curious about. That is something I'm curious about. This is something I have not Googled for myself. How do you do that? Do you just have like 4 different sort of sketches of it and then just...
Oh, it's nothing. I just like, this is how lowbrow I am. I just put my drawing up in the sun and I just kind of do it. I don't have a whiteboard. Like I just kind of freewheel it. Like,
and then you just cycle them. That's fucking amazing. I love that look a lot. And I think it's absolutely coming back into vogue. All of us kids who grew up on Ed, Ed, and Eddie were like, what was that? What made it so frenetic?
There's a wonderful animator named Victoria Vincent. I think she's had some of her stuff featured on Adult Swim. But
why are they the only place for adult animation?
We'll see. I mean, Adult Swim's going through some restructuring right now, so we'll see. But yeah, that was definitely something I grew up with, was a lot of Aqua Teen and C-Lab and stuff like that. Like, what was considered like bottom of the barrel, like I saw as high art, honestly.
Right?
Yeah.
And just for reference, here's some of Victoria Vincent's
she's incredible.
work.
Yeah.
It's some cool shit. I love the colors also. Very
Definitely.
in. That like mint and the orange.
Yeah, a lot of artists I know nowadays tend to go for like, like the vaporwave kind of look with like lots of blues and purples and stuff like that. And she does not limit herself to that.
No.
And I think that's what attracted her to me. And also it kind of had a Klasky Supo kind of absurdity to it.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Didn't know how to finish that sentence. Sorry.
And I love that. And I can absolutely see, one of the things I've loved about your work is also your use of color. I mean, it was something you brought up in a speech I saw that you gave in 2015 where you got into selective color. And that, I think, is something that was very cool about...
Tell me about selective color.
Yeah.
What specifically do you mean by that? How do you apply it in your art?
I wonder if I used... I'm sorry.
It may have been a different word.
I might have used the term arbitrary color.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was my bad. That was
which one teacher I loved, and this is early onset Alzheimer's talking, because I can't remember any names. But she introduced me to the works of Degas, and the paintings of the ballerinas and stuff like that. And when he was starting to lose his sight, and I think de Kooning went through this too, where near the end of their lives, they were finding themselves using specific colors where they would not make sense per se, like using a green as a form of shading as opposed to something more naturalistic and stuff. But it led to something that was absolutely distinctive. And so that's what I tried to do now, because when I started, I was doing like druggy ass shit. Like I was doing like every color of the rainbow on a piece. Like it started looking like those, like, I don't know, like those box lunches with like the rainbows on the cover and stuff. Like, not
Love those. Damn. That's also coming back. The Lisa Frank look.
Oh man.
I love it. What do you think about it?
I'm really excited for it coming back.
You're like, too much neon, too much pink. The cute animal eyes. I could do without the cute animal eyes. And the factory-like conditions of her factory.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. It's not for me. But I understand the work that goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly been something I've spent my whole life trying to work on is as opposed to just writing off something, as just trying to get the breakdown of like what makes this work, what makes this work for people, and what makes it successful.
Do you have an example of something that was of something that you really liked learning about, or something that you're like, wow, that's really challenging to me, and so I'm going to spend time thinking about what works for people, and how you may have implied that or internalized it into your own work?
So to kind of tie into that, I kind of feel that way about, I love fine art. Like I went into school originally as a fine artist instead of an illustrator, despite that being my background. I swapped over to commercial art just because I thought there might be skills or something to get from that, especially when it comes to marketing yourself. Yeah. Obviously, I live in my parents' place, so say what you will. But in terms of, as time has gone on, I find myself paying attention less to comics and stuff and drawing, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
Like, I've been finding my interests in the stuff I find myself interested in aren't limited to that, and I find myself looking at a lot of movies and painting, sculpture, and also just life. Like, taking photographs and stuff like that. You kind of, and that's what kind of why I enjoyed getting into fine art in particular was like it kind of makes you think like a detective a little bit, where like there's the surface level, there's the paint or whatever medium it is, there's the intentions, there's whatever words on the wall there are, there's the weight. There's obviously what it makes you feel and stuff like that, but there's also getting down to the nuts and bolts of like trying to figure out what they were thinking when they were doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. You look surprised at something, so.
Oh, I looked surprised at Lindsay Premel suggesting Lisa Frank's Zombies. And Grotesqueries, which now that I have heard this, I will crave it until it is mine.
I love that answer, because I also have definitely noticed my own, the things I'm drawn to shifting and changing over time. And
yeah,
it's interesting how I definitely had a huge like pop art period, and then that sort of went off, and now I do find myself, photography has also become much more of a thing I find myself drawn to, both taking and viewing, and so I can relate a lot to how that shifts and how then the shifting influences your own art, and I think that that's an interesting element of creation as well.
Yeah,
viewing and
what kind of changes did you make in your art process based on those new inspirations, like using more photographs in your art, using different types of colors, something like that?
I feel sad because I just got a new phone, an iPhone 12.
Nice.
Let's see, do I want people doxing me because I have an expensive phone? The Pro Max, I'll just say it. But the phone I had before that was iPhone 6, and it was one of the first ones to have the panoramic stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when I was working on thesis, I was getting into a lot of film noir type stuff, and obviously San Fran, you think of like
Maltese Falcon,
Big Sleep, that kind of shit.
It's a noir city.
So, and being able to like do panoramics and stuff like that, and I'd already had an obsession with like fisheye lens type shit, like Thomas Hart Benton, who did like that sort of thing, but for like traditional like farming and stuff like that. Ooh. So it's pretty trippy. He was actually one of Jackson Pollock's teachers, so everybody starts from somewhere.
Oh, wow.
I believe so. Otherwise, I just made up a Snapples fact. But getting into the habit of like taking reference photos, that was huge in college. There you get a little bit of that. So everything almost has like its own point. There's a vanishing point, but it's like everything has its own curve to it. Like it almost dances with you as you look at it.
And you use a lot of curves in your art, actually. We were looking at the city. That was
my thesis.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us about your thesis, because I was looking at it earlier, and the thing I actually said was I love how everything kind of curves, like into certain spots. The city looks like you can hug it.
That's nice. I like that.
Which is good for this city. You don't often feel like you can hug San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you want urine in your face.
I figured out today, I took a shower before I came here, and I kind of realized you only look as good as you smell. Like, that's just a fact of life. All the advances of humanity, rockets hitting the moon, stuff. You can't escape that. So
This is a shot from a screen of the city.
Yeah.
Just for reference.
How everything kind of curves in. Tell us about the city. Tell us about this reference.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
How that can be.
And tell us how you feel about it now. So this is your thesis. When did you make it? This is a comic book, fully no words comic book about the city. Is it this city? Tell us about it.
So, I've been to New York. Up to that point, I had been to New York. I had been to San Fran. I lived in Oakland, and I'd been to Seattle for PAX a couple times. Up to that point, and I love cities so much. I love how it's not for everybody, obviously, but because it pushes people together, just by its very nature. And the fact that you're seeing both old buildings and new buildings, and you're seeing stuff that's being done up on top of like what was previously. There's a dance studio in the God damn it!
Mission,
sorry.
Castro, Potrero, the part with the beaches.
No. We're going
North Beach.
No, farther south. The
Excelsior.
Tenderloin.
Tenderloin.
Yes. There was a dance studio in the Tenderloin that exists there now, but it was previously a porn theater. So it used to have these silhouettes of naked ladies on the front, and it's like, that's so fucking cool. Like, I just find that way more attractive to me than doing a story about like a magician conquering the world or something. Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
Well, you gotta tell us about that. So you don't like telling that story. You started telling a story and decided, nah. Tell me that story. The story of your story. I need to know. Isn't that fascinating, though? The picking up and putting down of projects is so fundamental to creation, and it's so emotionally taxing.
Yeah.
But also seeing it through, which is the tricky part.
Yeah. Oh my God. Tell us about that.
I mean, I used. Oh God, we're kind of hopping from different thing to thing. My mind just needs to catch up.
Not a problem. I am absolutely. My interviewing style could be called frenetic. That's the word of the day.
I'm into it. It's fine.
No, please take your time.
Well, in terms of like picking up stuff and putting it down, like I did a webcomic back in the day, and that kind of didn't get too much farther than the first chapter. Then I redid it. The first chapter, and I redid it again later on. But there was actually something like meditative about doing that, because I was noticing how much my character designs were changing. Like the characters were growing with me, which was almost like a almost kind of meditative in a way. So I've always enjoyed, and I find myself doing that whenever I am working on a project, and hopefully I see the next one through. But a lot of the time when I'm doing that, I'm drawing those same characters over and fucking over, again and again and again. Miles' sketchbooks. Let me see if I can
Do you have a little reachy?
A little reach.
Ooh, a little
We hide the personal
reachy.
information. And excuse the crap over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
not a
I
problem.
can't get,
Not a problem.
The bounds
sorry.
of our shot are the only organized at all part of this room.
Let me
And
give
you can see how
And
organized
that I'm calling
it
this
is.
organized, I think.
Yeah.
Right,
explains.
yeah. You
Like,
got to
look.
keep up your image.
Things are only kind of overlapped. Like,
Take my word for it. There's 2 stacks of sketchbooks there, but a lot of it is a lot of it is just doing the same characters over and over again. And I know people get tired of that sort of thing, but for me, I have to.
yeah.
Like, just to, because a lot of the time I'm still refining stuff, and I'm still trying to think of how to do something in as few lines as possible, despite the chaotic nature of some of the stuff you see there on my Instagram. I'm still, I don't know if I would exactly call my modern stuff legible by illustration or design standards, but I assure you, like, I'm trying to make conscious decisions in terms of, like, where people's eyes go and stuff like that, and that's what makes or breaks a good illustrator, is whether you are comfortable enough giving the viewer a place to enter the world. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
But I definitely...
That's really huge. No, like, that is really profound.
That's very profound.
That is not a way I've conceptualized things before. And I think that we've also had a history of rewriting things over and over and over again. Just doing the same show, like, in
Screenwriters
all
do
these
it,
different formats.
Yeah.
It's also something that I know that if you look at the Instagrams of our various projects, there's definitely repeating elements and characters for that reason, because it's like, oh, I enjoy the sort of seeing how my style has evolved.
They're a
by using the
one-trick
same-
pony. It's like, no.
We were watching a video about The Simpsons today and how a lot of the jokes were rewritten like 40 times.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them. And I'm like, is that just like the hack of getting something really good, as if multiple humans have worked on it, by just waiting until you're a kind of different human and then inputting that? So, like, I can be a room of 10 people, I just have to wait 10 years and, like, do it every year.
Yeah. The world is a big place, and I don't even know if that's the answer to it, or if there even is an answer to that, because I think of certain artists who just kind of pound something out the first go, and, you know, if you were to do it again, it wouldn't be missing. Like, think about certain musicians and stuff like that who considered their first take the best one, and it just gets worse, and then they feel awful when the 3rd or 5th one is the one that goes out to the world. So, I mean,
Or
it's
even
also...
improv.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Doing situation plays, and, like, in the history of improv, I was, like, very inspired by the idea of the situation play, which is just, these are the things that are gonna happen, and they improvise the in-betweens. And they would do the same one over and over and over again, and then eventually, like, turn that into a screenplay. Like, turn that into things that we watch. But it's so interesting that you're taking such a risk with that, especially when you're putting it out to the world of, like, no, the previous one was way better, but you all saw the shittier version. Like, I promise I'm not shitty, but you liked it though. So actually, no, that's what I meant. That's absolutely what I meant.
Well, that's the magic of having an editor, right?
Yo.
But even then, you put out the take that the actors were like, why the fuck did you choose that one? But there's a reason for everything. I just watched Meantime by Mike Leigh, the British director, Leigh. And he and, like, John Cassavetes, I don't know if I'm talking inside baseball, probably.
I know Cassavetes,
But they're both directors who did improvised dialogue, like everything. Like, they had a scenario written out, and I think that's the case for any artist. You need some kind of framework, and I do for anything I do. But it's casual, like, backbone to things. But they did a lot of stuff where it was, like, all like, the dialogue was all handled with the actors. Like, it was the director and the actor, and they talked about what's going to happen, what's natural. They figure it out, and it feels as real as it can get. And I have a lot of respect for that kind of, and that's a balance I still, as a tightrope I still try to walk, is between spontaneity and then knowing what you're fucking doing. So
Yeah.
Do you find that when you're creating that you start with a situation in mind, or do you just kind of start and then find the situation, you know, as you are creating whatever you're seeing?
that's changing project to project.
Oh, interesting.
A lot when I've done the stories that I do, a lot of the time is just I guess you could say it's like piecing things together, but it's more like hot gluing the stuff that you think works. David Lynch has a great dialogue about, has a great speech about the creative process, where it's like it's more akin to going fishing. Like you go out, you get an idea or a piece of English or something like that, and you go in the back room and you try to kind of think about like, how does this work? Like a lot of the time for me, it's a character design, or it's an environment, or it's a photo I took, or it's something I heard somebody say, or maybe it's an underpass that I was walking through somewhere, or maybe it's some pain I've endured, or some moment from my life. It can be anything. And the problem I find a lot of artists get caught up is that they're thinking of other pieces of art they've seen rather than the experiences they've had, or the stuff that's like as close to your heart as there is. So, I mean, you can tell a story. You can tell a wonderful story about an anthropomorphic crocodile that tells knock-knock jokes or something like that. But it's how you kind of tie everything together with life and what you know. And knowing is more than half the battle. It's the whole battle. So.
Wow. No, absolutely.
I like that.
And I like thinking about it that way. Things sort of come together. I was curious about the things that you are recreating, the things that you are doing sort of over and over again. What is something that you're proud of the current iteration of? Is there anything on your Instagram that we can show off that's a character that you're like, I did 20 of those and this is just the one that I posted, like, over the years, like this idea or this central thesis has like sat on my heart. Are we scrolling through the Instagram right now on the stream?
Yeah.
Oh, you can put up whatever and I can try and recall, but
yeah, is there anything that you're particularly proud of that comes to mind?
Something I actually want to highlight because I really liked it, and because it was this one, which you initially made when you was at the initial date for this show, and I want to bring it up also just to thank you for being so understanding and kind when we had to move the show 2 weeks in a row.
Absolutely, I'm completely understanding. Yeah.
And I also just love the use of red in this. Like the arbitrary color.
Yeah.
In this is just so good, and I love the expressiveness and the freneticness.
Yeah.
Apologies to colorblind people if you can't see the red on the white. I'm sorry, that's just kind of been my direction I've been going in.
No.
You know, I
can go back. Yeah.
I've kind of been on break from illustration and drawing for a while. Like, I've been getting into streaming and stuff lately. And I've done a lot of drawing for assets and stuff for the stream and stuff like that. But in terms of just sitting down, like, I can't draw at home. Like, I have a major problem where it's like I can't draw where I'm comfortable. Like, and I mean, obviously I don't draw outside. The wind blows my pages around. A bird shits on my page, whatever. I mean, I'm define uncomfortable as sitting in a coffee house indoors and listening to stuff, but I've been finding myself, there's a coffee house down the road, so I've been going down and sitting down and drawing and stuff like that.
Is that your anthropomorphic crocodile or alligator that tells knockout jokes?
I wasn't even thinking of that. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it could. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that guy's supposed to be a dragon who lost his wings or something like that. So,
Cute.
yeah. Let's see. Shit, I forget what I was talking about. Shit.
About drawing where you're uncomfortable,
Yeah.
about not being able to draw in spaces that are comfortable. So has that sort of limited you with the pandemic?
It has been. I mean, it's something I've been trying to... I mean, I'm able to sit down and get my ass in gear if I have to, and I've had to for, like, when I do contract work and stuff like that. But when I'm drawing for myself and I'm doing stuff that's for personal projects and stuff like that, I love the feeling of sitting down in a place and... God, Instagram and it's cropping, I swear to God.
Yeah, no, I'm
I was just
trying to-
reminded.
There we go.
But I love sitting down with, like, an album I just bought and listening to that, and then seeing people going about their day. And, you know, sometimes I'll start my sessions with some life drawing and some like blind contour type stuff when you draw without looking at your paper, and then they're gone. Or going to the bathroom and then maybe there's a horrible smell in there. Or maybe when you're sitting down to draw and somebody comes over and says, "Hey, I like your stuff." Maybe they tried to get me into believing in Jesus Christ or something. But like, but there's a possibility for that. There's
Yeah.
always something, and it's easy to get dismayed by certain inconveniences and stuff. But that's just food. Like that's all. It's all. I mean, I am very lucky with where I live. You know, I'm lucky stability wise, but so I'm not one to talk. But I do believe that there's something really important to finding the beauty in when things don't go correctly, which has been kind of my art's kind of thesis in its own way, is just put a fucking line down. Like, don't think about what it looks like or how it resembles or something like that, or like just put a line down and it's yours, and nobody else has that.
Wow.
And obviously I still consider myself a little bit, because I consider myself a cartoonist, because that files itself under design, but I just put the line down.
I love that because
Put the line down and it's yours.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
Yeah.
when I work in charcoal and draw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
I'm just like, the beauty of a black line. Like,
Yeah.
and that feeling of ownership of it. I had never sort of conceptualized it that way, but that's how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's yours. You made it. You did it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the philosophy my dad has kind of pounded into me, but that's the yeah, that sounded wrong, I'm sorry. But that's the I'm sorry to be macabre. I'm macabre. He's still alive. He's over there doing something. But that's the philosophy of just like I don't even though I love fine art and stuff like that, I don't think, and I think it is like the genesis of a lot of that kind of stuff is not what it means, but how it means.
Yeah.
And I'm more interested in like how you get to where you are.
Yeah.
Like I still love going to galleries and stuff like that and just trying to figure shit out. Like I hope we can get to a point where all the people of the different mediums can kind of see the beauty in whichever is doing. But yeah, one day. Yeah.
I love that.
I mean,
You're dropping like all of these like, I'm like being moved. I'm like, where is a pen? Like, I want to write this shit down. I feel like I'm,
There's one.
watching it.
Got one down here, probably. Oh, that's my credit card. I'm better off pulling that up.
Oh no, just flash it to the I feel a lot of similarity in terms of life drawings and motion drawings. That's sort of what I stuck to when I was drawing. Drawing like people on the bus and shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just remembered I was drawing this guy who looked very interesting because he was rather disheveled and had this huge beard. And he was just chilling, and I was drawing him, and he had these like crazy eyes, and I'm like, and as he got up to get off as his stop, he looked at me and he just goes, because like he knew that I was drawing him that whole time, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck. And then a year later I saw him like manning the door at the local theater. I was like, oh my god, it's the guy, like I've never forgotten his face. I still have that sketch somewhere.
That's great. That's wonderful.
I will never forget his face.
That's wonderful.
But taking inspiration from life and from motion and really seeing that in your... Oh my gosh, that's so clever! I never thought of wearing sunglasses.
I should have done that.
I literally never thought of that. I'm like, oh my god!
Wow,
Oh my god.
I also have to bring up a nugget of wisdom of yours that was shared in the chat.
Ooh, everybody pees, therefore everyone's
Okay. So that quote was from one of my first streams. Kayla was sweet enough to do a cross stitch of that phrase.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Oh wow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Kayla, you do fiber arts? Because I'm like about fiber arts. That was the other thing I was doing. I'm currently, I have an injury, so I haven't been able to do a lot of drawing and stitching. But boy, do I love.
I love
it. You've seen people start posing? I love that.
The poster's gonna fall any second now, but yeah.
Oh my god. Tell us what that means. Tell us what it means. Stand next to your wisdom.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
Yo, P is art. Like you're. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think about. Oh yeah.
Sure.
It's fun. I started in 2018. I got very injured shortly after starting, probably because I literally never put the fucking hoop down. But yeah, it's something you make. Right? It's something that you make.
I had a teacher who I think did, I forget his name, but I think one of his pieces he did was orchestrating people to put paint in their assholes and then like spray it onto the canvas.
I love that.
I do love that.
I want to see it and not participate in it because that sounds good.
He was a Los Angeles person, in case you couldn't guess. So yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yes, that is.
Yeah. If you can pee, you can do art. Yeah.
Yo, though, it absolutely is true. I think you can also be a witch if you pee. Urine is a really fun thing to use in witchcraft because it's like, that's really gross and weird. And like, you don't understand it. And then if someone finds it, they're like, what the actual fuck? And you have had the opportunity to awaken that feeling in someone else, which is something I value, I guess.
Cool.
But in
That's really cool.
Wow. That's so interesting. Oh my God, Steven, who is that person? Yo, everyone should learn witchcraft. Witchcraft is just art.
Yeah, with different
it's just a fun psychodrama that you get to design every element of, and make it look all aesthetic to your pleasing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Interesting.
Robinson, tell us what you're working on right now and where people can see your work. What are you proud of that you are working on right now or have recently done?
I think the stream I did yesterday was very interesting.
Yeah? Tell us about your streams.
It was I'd say it's typically just a gaming stream, but yesterday I decided I wanted to get ready for this interview, so I did a stream where I wanted to multitask as much as I could. Ooh. So I shaved live on stream. I had 4 cameras set up. I had this one, I was shaving. I had a camera at the table here so you could see all the hair. And I also brushed my teeth, so that spilled onto the table as well.
Oh my God.
It was disgusting.
I love that. Yeah. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah. I had a separate camera at my drink just to remind me when I've done too much harm to the world. And then I had a video game because Twitch is a video game site, so
I love
there.
Experimental Twitch stuff. I love that. Twitch. That's so cool. Pushing the boundaries of what Twitch can do is always so interesting.
Yeah, that Wayne Radio TV guy does some pretty crazy stuff. That stuff's pretty funny. He's more comedy focused, his little troupe. But speaking of video art, did you see Namjoon Pike there's like a Namjoon Pike exhibit at I think it's MoMA? Or something like that. The video artist. I haven't. Yeah, that's something I really want to see.
That's really cool. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah, video artist from the 70s, did a lot of installation work.
Installations are the fucking jam.
Yeah.
Yo.
Certainly.
That's like a low-key dream of mine to like make an installation. You just sort of like, it's like inviting people to walk into your mind, like the really cool parts of your brain. You're like, look how cool I am.
There was a MoMA exhibit that like opened my eyes to how light works.
Yes.
Which was an installation where they put everything inside was yellow light.
Yes.
Like yellow light. And then eventually as you're in there, your eyes would adjust and it would start to look white. And then as you left,
it's as simple as that. Yeah.
You'd see daylight. You'd see the blue tint of daylight. And that was like the first time I ever saw that, and it just blew my mind.
It's very exploratorium.
Yeah.
It's just science and art and creation and all of these wonderful things.
Kreml has answered a couple questions.
Oh.
It was Andres Serrano, Piss and Blood. And Andy Goldsworthy is an installation artist that Kreml really likes.
Fuck, yes. Friends, it is but moments from 6 o'clock.
It is 6 o'clock.
It is but moments from 6 o'clock. And I want to thank you so much, Robinson, for joining us today, for talking art, for talking philosophy. Everybody check out all of his shit because it's so awesome.
It's so cool.
And also, you're like embarrassed about your YouTube. I'm like, it's so funny. I was watching it when I was super sick because, like, I was like, I gotta get ready for this interview. I gotta watch things, and I was just like, this is the best. Like,
Your YouTube was a big highlight of our post second vaccine malaise.
That's really sweet of you.
It was fantastic. Thank you so much, friends. It's time for plugs. I think.
Oh.
We're doing 2 plugs. We have 2 things to present to you all.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a fun thing on the Archaeos, which you were there sort of for, this Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time,
10 p.m. Eastern.
Right after Mary's painting party. If Mary's painting party goes late, we do not start. We start after Mary's painting party. We do a little show where we read the tarot deck, the beautiful tarot deck created by Stephen Premel. Oh, look what's there! Ha! It's the keeper. The rabbi. We do readings. We do tarot readings. We read you. But this week, guess what? We're reading your pets. That's right. Only animal readings. There is a filter on the Instagram, on the Planet Scum Instagram, where it will choose 3 cards for you. Now, in order to get the cards for your pets, you will have to be in the picture because it is very specious and it does not recognize the heads of these animals. But we are reading your pets. Huh? Yes. Yeah. We're reading your pets. We want to see them. If you want to send a picture beforehand, send it to the We Are Trash People Instagram. I'm so excited about this. Second plug, this Friday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, midnight. That's right, it's a midnight show. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know. Is that a thing?
Eastern Time is midnight. It's the midnight for Saturday.
It's the midnight for Saturday.
Time's relative this year. Yeah.
Time is relative this year. There's a little thing called Aquarius Got Talent. That's right, on the Radio Free Multiverse Twitch channel. It is a talent show where you will be able to see the artistic stylings of some people that you probably know. We got Ovary. We got Clancy Kramer, Portland-based comedian that you might know as Tig Naruto. We got Eric Germ, possibly. We got a bunch of people. We got Susie. Y'all know Susie. We got fucking Susie. Susie's gonna sing a song. Robinson, honestly though, if you hear Susie sing,
Yeah.
she just does incredible vocal things. I'm really, really excited. Specific Andrew. So everyone should show up and watch all your buds do just fucking incredible things. There may even be more humans.
Who knows?
There may. There will probably be more non-humans.
I mean, there will at least be one evil fish creature.
At least one.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone, what about a goldfish? That's my question
that's
too.
the evil fish creature, an evil bright red goldfish.
Goldfish have teeth in the back of their throat. They have teeth deep in the center of their necks to chew up the food. They have them and they can shed teeth. Goldfish have
I'm not going to put it on stream, but I am Googling it.
I learned this on TikTok, my new god.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's horrifying. You can show just the teeth outside of the fish. Then they can just be terrified by the assumption. Okay. Goldfish have teeth.
Yeah, Solid Gold Aquatic posted an image of goldfish teeth.
They lose them, and you can collect them and have goldfish teeth. What sort of spells would you do with goldfish teeth? I don't want to wig anyone out. It is a nightmare from
so thank you for joining us. And I want to thank
you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. It was a true delight.
True delight. Yeah. So this was We Are Trash People. We are so excited to see you all next week. Have we booked anyone for next week yet?
No, and we're going to do something probably a little light next week.
Yes.
Because our show is the same time as the Rush Ticks Who Wants 269 episode.
Yes, with Martin Urbano. So do not feel divided between watching this or watching that. Please give your money to Martin Urbano.
But we'll see you all next week.
We will see you all next week.
Good night and good climb.
Good night and good climb.